So then guys, in 2026, will we be getting a whole load of new Apple Watches, and what kind of new features and upgrades are we going to get across the whole Apple Watch lineup? Well, today I want to go over everything we know so far for the new Apple Watches coming in 2026. But just quickly, let's see where we are currently with the Apple Watches. Well, in 2025, it was a big year because every single Apple Watch got updated. We got the Apple Watch SE 3rd generation, what gave us a load of new features, and also we got a new chip inside of it. The design stayed exactly the same as the last two generations, but this was a needed upgrade because we haven't had an upgrade to an SE in a good sort of 2+ years now, so it was actually needed here. But then we also got the Apple Watch Series 11. This also gave us an upgrade of 1 or 2 extra little sensors and things like this for actual kind of monitoring your health and things like this, like your blood pressure. So we got this added in too, but really the design of it didn't change whatsoever. Then we also got the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Same sort of scenario there. We got that new kind of health monitoring sensor, but we also got 5G connectivity also added into the Watch Ultra. The Series 11 also got this too. So this was good to actually get these little enhancements added into it. And also we got the SOS calling ability, which is something what I wish had been in the original Apple Watch Ultra, and it's definitely going to help us out and about. But as we move forward then, what's going to happen in 2026? Well, first of all, let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 12. Now, the Apple Watch Series 12, what I'm going to say right now is don't expect a big design upgrade to it. We haven't had hardly any leaks indicating that's going to happen. But we did get this leak in right here, what says that when we do get a big sort of redesign, in fact, what you want to call it, for the Apple Watch, well, that will be in 2028. That is when the actual current design is going to be refreshed. And to be honest, I'm not too surprised by this. When we got to the Apple Watch Series 10, that was classed in Apple's eyes as, say, their big refresh. And now they're just maintaining that design for a few models. So this does make quite a lot of sense because Apple like to do this with their phones, their MacBooks, all their products. They retain the design for a good number of years. So yeah, expect, say, 4 generations or so out of it. So 2025, 26, 27, possibly 28, but it looks like, according to this leak, that could have been when the refresh will actually happen. So if you want a new design, Apple Watch normal, then yeah, you're gonna have to wait out a couple more years for that. But what we have heard about with this new Apple Watch is that it could be a feature that we've been wanting for so long that's finally going to be added to this watch, and that is Touch ID. We've got this leak in right here, where it actually has been discovered in Apple's code that Touch ID is actually apparent in there, and that Apple are working on this. This could mean that we could have an under-screen Touch ID, but possibly what I would actually say, it's more likely the button on the side, the actual one that gets your main menu up and things like this, that button there would probably have a Touch ID sensor in it. This would definitely help out, say for example, if you're going out to pay or things like this, or anything that's using NFC, this would actually be really, really good to authenticate yourself. So this is definitely something that's really, really cool that this is coming along inside of the Apple Watch. But the next question you're going to be asking about is, what about that diabetes sensor, or that glucose monitoring sensor? Where's that out? Well, unfortunately, I am going to say it, the leaks have still gone quiet there. We know Apple are working on this. We've had leaks and rumors about this in the past. They are working on a glucose sensor, and they have a proof of concept, but I think possibly what's happening is the sensor's just not working exactly the way they want it to. This is something what you want to get like 99.9% accurate. And Apple are very, very big. They won't want to bring out a product until it's exactly perfect in their eyes. This is a big reason why we have, say, an iPhone Fold up until very soon, what might come out in 2026, which is going to be talked about in another video. This is something what Apple probably are doing with this sensor. They're waiting to get that sensor absolutely perfect. Maybe right now it's about 85% accurate, for example, for monitoring, your glucose level, or for, all of those sort of bits and pieces there. But they want to get it almost perfect. And I think from a health benefit, you guys probably want the same here. You want to get it like 99% perfect there, if not 100% perfect, to actually make it work. So unfortunately, nothing looks like it's coming out in that area in 2026. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that one. So that really is everything we know about the Apple Watch Series 12. But what about, say, the SE? Are we going to get an update in 2026? Well, I'm going to say no. Normally, the Apple Watch SE normally gets updated, say, every 2 to 3 years. And we just got the update this year in 2025. So again, I'm going to say it's not going to be updated in 2026. This makes a lot of sense. It's Apple's budget, watch here. It's not their, ultimate king that they've got to put newest sensors in it and everything inside of it. It's just got to do the functions of an Apple Watch, and that's exactly what it does, and it's up to date. So I don't think there's going to be a new Apple Watch SE coming out in 2026. The earliest would be 2027 or possibly even 2028. So nothing on that front next year. But first, just quickly guys, I want to tell you about the channel giveaway I am doing in mid-January 2026, and it's for this right here. That's right, it is an iPhone 17 Pro Max, and I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber, like I said, mid-January 2026. The great thing about this iPhone 17 Pro Max, it also does have a physical SIM card slot. So any of you guys out there in countries where they don't allow eSIMs, well, you can actually use it, but you can also set up a eSIM on it too. But the main thing is how to enter into this giveaway. Well, there's just two things you need to do. The first thing you need to do is just put down into the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to still get before the end of 2025 or the beginning part of 2026. Maybe it'll be a new iPhone. Maybe it's going to be, say, a new iPad. Maybe it's going to be something nothing to do with Apple whatsoever. It could be, say, a Nintendo Switch 2 or something else completely different. Whatever it is, put it down into the comments below. Now, the other part of the giveaway will be happening near mid-January time 2026, where I'll be making a video on this channel giving you even more details about the giveaway, including a form to fill in too. And you won't want to miss out on that video. So the best thing that you can do right now is subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because you'll want to see that video. Plus, you'll also want to be a subscriber because I'm giving this away to one lucky subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say, guys, that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People are still impersonating me, telling to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best to see right here. Please do report them. So moving on from this then, the next question is, would Apple ever think about introducing a brand new Apple Watch to their line? Let's say an Apple Watch Air. Now, I have talked about this on my channel very recently, and there is the possibility that Apple could actually make, say, a new Apple Watch that is probably around about 30% thinner than the current Apple Watch normal that we have now, like the Series 11. At the end of the day, all Apple would have to do is probably provide the larger display option of like what we've got with the Series 11, just the bigger one, and they could put a narrower battery in it, but they could also equip the N1 chip and also equip the likes of the C1 or the C1X chip inside of it too, to give us great battery life from it. Now, what I would say is that for this watch, the main thing is as long as it gets through a full day, like say the Apple Watch SE, then obviously they could probably sell this. So if you're worried about battery life, do remember, and I hate to say this about Apple, majority of their watches do not get past more than 2 days, and that's even including the Apple Watch Ultra sort of series. Most of the normal watches give you a day or day and a half, really, to be honest, like the Apple Watch SE. So with this then, you can see what I'm saying. If the battery was on par with the Apple Watch SE, but a slightly bigger screen, gave you very similar features to the Apple Watch Series 11, or even say, a bit more than the SE, Apple could be onto a winner here, especially it is thinner. I would personally say if also Apple targeted the pricing correct, let's say it was on par or maybe just slightly more than say the larger Apple Watch Series 11, what comes in at $429 US or starts at that. Let's say it was the same price as that, or $450 there, so just the likes of $20 more. I think a lot of people would actually go for it because of how thin it is, and obviously you do sacrifice on battery life a little bit, but like I said, majority of us put our watches on charge at night. Some of us do put them on charge during the day, but that's the point. You can't really get more than say a day and a half battery out of most of these. So we're going to have to watch this space. But what I would say here personally is I don't believe that it could come out in 2026. It might, but I think it's more likely 2027, because I think Apple needs to get, say, like the iPhone Air corrected first. Once they've got that corrected and nailed out with extra camera, giving it an extra speaker and things like this, maybe reducing the price a little bit on it, then that's when they would probably have a gap in the market to actually start selling, say, an Apple Watch Air to go alongside of that. So yeah, we'll have to watch out for this space. But then finally, the last product that we could also see in 2026 is also a brand new Apple Watch Ultra. Now, what I would say is with the Apple Watch Ultra is that there's going to have to be, say, a big change to actually happen to it. Not just to say this Touch ID, what I talked about with the Apple Watch Series 12 coming out. We would have to have something quite different here. Personally, what I think will happen is that we'll probably get a new Apple Watch Ultra 4 design. Do remember for the last 3 generations, over the last 4 years, we've had the same design for the Apple Watch Ultra. Apple may introduce a slightly slimmer Apple Watch, maybe 10 or 15% thinner, still quite chunky. And like what I said earlier about having that C1 chip and N1 chip, they could actually put that inside of it, give us a great battery life on par with the current Apple Watch Ultra, but yet be slightly thinner there. Maybe the screen might be slightly bigger too. But really in features wise, it would be very similar to the Ultra 3, apart from maybe that Touch ID and obviously having a new chip put inside of it. Apart from that, really, not much else would probably change apart from the whole design. In features wise, it would be very similar to the Ultra 3, like I said, apart from that Touch ID button. But really guys, that is the Apple Watches, the lookout now for 2026, what we know so far. Of course, we've got lots of time until when these new watches come out, and that would be September 2026. We've got like 9-10 months away now from that time, and there's going to be probably loads of leaks coming in. So if you do want to keep track of those leaks of what's going to happen with the Apple Watches during that time, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell, because I'll be updating you guys with the latest information. On top of that as well guys, if you've enjoyed watching this video, please also do press the like button. And on that note as well, it's time to go. And I'll see you guys really soon. Take care. Bye bye.